Today we are going to find out if Audi is going in the right direction with the new rebranded Audi A5, which, starting with the exterior, it looks absolutely amazing. You've got this aggressive front with those two nice lines on the bonnet. The headlights and the grille combined have that mean look, and they somewhat bring the old A4 in mind, but they are just amazing. So for the headlights also you have a lot of different options. Like you've got, I think, 8 options, of which you can choose how the LEDs are lighting up during the night. This also is lighting up. I don't know yet if this is red. You've got a vent here, which is not fake. The grille also has some new shapes, which I find interesting. I'm not yet sure if I like them or not. Overall, I think Audi did a really great job with the front, because even if this is like a new rebranded model, they still kept some shapes and some details that yell Audi. It just has that Audi look. Then watching it from the side, being an estate, of course, it's huge, it's pretty long. It somewhat resembles, for me, it may be personally, but I somewhat think it looks like a C-Class, the estate version, but that would be just me. I think from the back, like the rear, somewhat looks like a C-Class. It's really sleek and round and aerodynamic. Yeah, it looks amazing. You've got standard 18-inch rims. Then, if you are watching it from the back, it's also completely new. I think the taillights are inspired by the e-tron. I think the e-tron was the first one to get such taillights. They look all right. They also have an animation. I will also put that in the video. Yeah, you've got 2 exhaust pipes. Are they real? Oh, yes, they are. Okay, no, that's nice. Yeah, so they're real. I don't have a stick to do the Matt Watson test. This is the Quattro version, so the all-wheel version, with a 2-liter diesel engine with a turbo that produces like 204 horsepower. And we are going to look at it. Before that, I'm really impressed by the handles, because I think there's nothing mechanical going on with the door. When closing it or opening it, you have this pressure sensor. You feel with a slight touch, it just opens. I find it really smooth, and it just feels great. Let's take a look at the engine. Yeah, nothing special. You've got a turbo here that does all the work. I think it's enough. I think the engine really fits for the weight and the car, and it just fits perfectly. It is also a mild hybrid when driving off, and also when you're driving and lifting from the gas, and that's really good. Like for the consumption, that's just amazing. With the full tank, you've got 950 kilometers of range, which is pretty impressive. I think for an average consumption of 4.5 liters, that would be all. Then we are going to take a look at the interior, which is also very impressive. The seats are just a normal fabric, pretty comfortable, I would say. Before going into the driver's seat, let's just hop in the back. So, okay. So I guess it's kind of all right. You could fit maybe 2 people in here, but not more, which is somewhat disappointing. I was expecting something more. Also, the legroom is not so impressive. The trunk is huge. You've got a very generous amount of space. But one surprise I had was that you can't, this is everything you get. So this space and this little compartment here, it's everything you get. Here you've got the tow hook, but other than that, you can't lift you don't have a cover, or you can't lift this up where you could store even the compressor and the safety, the first aid kit. So yeah, you've only got this. Okay, now let's just hop inside. Now, before I start talking about the interior, I think all manufacturers will start someday, or maybe they should start, sending you right away with the car when you buy it, a microfiber cloth, because you are going to goddamn need it. It is just a nightmare. You just start the car and start driving. You maybe turn on something, the heating or anything, and there's just fingerprints everywhere. So yeah, that's really annoying. And maybe that's a taste thing, but I just hate when there's fingerprints. Yeah, it just annoys me a lot. Other than that, this thing looks like a spaceship. That would be the best way to describe it. I was really impressed that it's got the passenger display, which has pretty much data on it. You can see the time, you can see the overview and maybe where you're going, the navigation. You can set up some things. So yeah, that's pretty nice. It's pretty, I'm not sure if that's an option or it comes with every A5. It makes the environment, the interior, a lot more pleasant to the eye, I would say. The biggest controversy, it's the steering wheel, because there has been a lot of hate towards the steering wheel. I'm not saying it's the best steering wheel, but it's also not the worst steering wheel, I think. So it has, of course, the logo. Yeah, that's the biggest point, which got a lot of hate. But the materials are pretty cheap. So now seeing it and touching it for the first time, even the material on the wheel, it's really hard. And this feels really cheap. These also, you've got touch kind of buttons. You can operate them by clicking them or by sliding, like for example here. Other than that, the seats feel pretty comfortable. This is also very interesting, but other than that, this feels all right. This is also fabric, so this is not a hard material or something. It's just soft fabric with many different textures over the door. You've got two cup holders. The gear lever is also, yeah, I'm not a fan of the small gear levers, but it feels all right. Here you've got also small space. So yeah, I would say let's start it. Okay, so now the engine started right away. It usually, I think if the battery is charged above a certain level, it will start electrically, and then you can also drive off like up to, I think it depends on how you accelerate, maybe 5 kilometers per hour. You would just drive electrically and then the engine comes. I'll just back up for a little for me to show you something, because I think that's really impressive. If you usually put your car in reverse, then your right mirror will just go down so you can safely park and not damage your wheels. Of course, I think in the UK it would be the left one, but I think this is just really amazing because you have these buttons here. And I was thinking, okay, you can just activate it by clicking here, but actually you can choose if you want to have one of them going down or if you want to have both of them going down. You could just, like for now, for example, are just both down. If I press this, this will go up. And if I press this, if I press the left one, this would go up and this one would go down. So yeah, if I press this again, then both of them are back again. And I think that's really amazing because it just gives you more choice, because sometimes you may park on the left side and then you would need that one to go down. And as I know, not many cars have that. Now when driving, the engine is pretty loud, but of course it's a diesel. The suspension is very soft. It does a great job damping like little potholes in the street. And it really offers a very comfortable ride. A plus, yeah, I was just gonna say that it doesn't peep right away when you get above 30, but then it just started peeping, so it's not a plus. But let's just see, we can press this button and with a touch we can deactivate the beeping. Also with another 3 touches we can deactivate the lane keeping. The steering is also precise. You have no free roam, so the moment you turn the wheel, the moment the car goes in that direction. I think it makes for a great city car, even if it's estate and it's so long and big, but it does a great job. Like you have a very nice feel on the gas in the city, and also a nice brake pedal feel, which makes driving in the city pretty enjoyable. The infotainment system, it's doing a good job. It's pretty fast and responsive. Although after, I think, the third startup of the car, my Apple CarPlay stopped working, so it just showed a black screen, and I had to disconnect it and reconnect it like about 2 times for it to work. But other than that, I think there's nothing to complain. I think it's a simple layout which you can navigate pretty easily. Now there is one thing about the interior, and also it could be about driving, because it has to do something with the driving, which I am just really proud of Audi. And that would be the lever for the cruise control settings. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just, I think it's just the same lever as for maybe 10 or more years from the older models. I think this would be an example of, if something works, why change it? It's really nice, and I'm really impressed that they also managed to keep it. But of course, they thought, maybe why would we get thousands of buttons here if the lever works and the customers enjoy it? Then they just keep the menu on the steering wheel simple and classy, and that's just nice. Driving on the highway, it's also a really enjoyable experience, because the drive is just very smooth. I like that you have these nice animations. It keeps all the lanes in mind, and it also switches, and it notices from behind when someone is driving past you, and it will just like show some lines over the lane in which the car is coming from. Like for this, for example, if you can see it. The cabin noise, it's really low. At 100 you can barely hear the wind noise. I haven't driven it faster than 120 yet, but maybe we will get that chance if there is enough space and no speed restrictions, because yeah, it's Frenzy Friday, so there's really a lot of traffic. It also shows you with some red lines that you should go further back because you're too close to the car in front of you. This is what I like about precise steering, and not where you have like that free roam of space where the car doesn't turn if you turn the wheel, because you can just keep the wheel straight to just drive in a straight line. And this kind of detail has a great impact on whether a car is really enjoyable to drive or not. Now let's see if we have the space to check if the horses are that fit. So it's got a good push from, like, what was it, 80 I think, but I was kind of expecting a little bit more because of the hybrid thing and the electric motor like pushing it more. Like, there are only 204 horsepower, but still it's enough, but I was expecting a little bit more. But as I said, again, it's enough. I really think the power and the power weight ratio, and for the car overall, it fits perfectly. So now let's try to sum it up and do like a little bit of a verdict, and we'll keep it short. So starting with the exterior, it looks absolutely amazing. It's got a really new and fresh look with some nice curves and shapes. Then the interior, as I said, looks like a spaceship, of course, with the classic modern car problems. Not problems, but like struggles, like when it comes to the everything it's a touch screen, or everything it's glossy and you get a lot of fingerprints. That's one thing that's annoying, but other than that, the features and the nice details with the side mirrors and the passenger display, they just make the interior really great and futuristic. The power, it's enough. The consumption is low. You get a lot of range. And the driving is really enjoyable. Not any red flags about the driving. Now that I drove this, I would be really curious to drive its bigger brother, the new A6, which I also think from watching from the outside, I really think that Audi did a really great job building the new A6. But we'll see. We'll just hope that someday I will get to drive it and make a video about it. With that said, that would be it for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, no matter what the question is about. So, see ya. Bye.